In this video today, I would like to share with you what it's like to own a 2020 Tesla Model 3. I originally ordered it back in October 2019 and I picked it up December 23rd, 2019. It took about 2 months and that was a brutal 2 months, but I'm not gonna complain too much because a lot of you guys are waiting a lot longer than that right now. So the Model 3 that I have is the long range with the 75 kilowatt hour battery. Now there are 3 trim levels that you can purchase in the Model 3. You can do the standard range, the long range, which is what I have, and the performance. So the price breakdown is $35,000 for the base Model 3. The long range all-wheel drive dual motor option was $12,990. White paint is free. 19-inch wheels was $1,500. White interior another $1,000, and I purchased the full self-driving for $6,000. Destination and documentation fee was $1,200. So the total for my long range Model 3 is $57,690. I was able to get $2,000 tax credit, and I also got a $1,000 rebate from Southern California Edison. I went ahead and purchased the home charging equipment for $500, and I also paid an electrician to install it for $500. So that pretty much is where I spent the $1,000 cash rebate from Edison. So why did I pick the long range over the standard range? My commute on a daily basis is about 120 miles. So I wanted the model that had the longest range. Also, they recommend that you should keep the state of charge between 20% and 80%. If I were to get the standard range, I would be left with lower amount of range. So I chose to get the long range. So why did I pick long range over performance? Well, at that time, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of people who did buy the performance, and they were complaining about the low profile wheels that it came with. A little bit of pothole, and man, they messed up their wheels. And so if that were to happen to me, I rely on this vehicle to take me to and from work. I can't be without it. So I thought it was just a more practical purchase to just get the long range than the performance. So what do I like about this car? Well, there's plenty. It's very fun to drive. Yeah, it's fast, but other than that, it's really fun. The whole one pedal driving is just amazing. Just the experience, it's truly amazing. I don't have to go to the gas station, so technically I do save a lot of money because whenever I go to those gas stations to fuel up, I end up buying candy, those energy drinks, lotto tickets, so I don't need to do that anymore. Plus, it's very convenient to wake up to a car that's fully charged, well, not really fully charged, but charged enough to be used on my daily commute. Being that it's a 4-door sedan, I was quite surprised at how much room the car has. The trunk not only has a lot of storage space, but it also has a hidden compartment below it. Now you could also lie the back seats flat to even get more storage out of it. And in my opinion, having 5 people sit in the car, they sit very comfortably. I have 2 boys, my father-in-law sometimes travels with us, and we're pretty comfortable. The stock sound system sounds really good. It's loud, it's not overblown in the bass, the controls are nice. It's really amazing what a stock sound system can have and do. Now the frunk, which is the front trunk, is a really nice feature to have. I didn't really pay attention to it until I start realizing that the frunk itself is an isolated storage space, I guess. It's not attached to the cabin. So the advantage of that is I could store food in the frunk rather than in the trunk, and you won't be able to smell the food because it's on its own. It's not connected to the cabin. Unlike the trunk, all you do is fold down the seats and the trunk is right there. So if you were to store food in the trunk, you're gonna smell that food. So for the most part, that's what I use the frunk for, is if I need to bring food with me, I just throw it in the frunk and I don't have to worry about it. I don't smell anything. So I really like the frunk. Now the Tesla software is really amazing. I like to think about it like Tesla cars are like iPhones. And what I mean by that is if you have an iPhone, you notice that Apple does a lot of software updates. And so Tesla is no different. You do get updates not only to correct issues with glitches and bugs, but you also get improvements. I love getting software updates, like waking up in the morning and finding out, oh cool, there's a new feature. So this car is almost 3 years old, but every time I get a new feature, it's like a brand new car all over again. It's great. Now, of course, this is not a perfect car. And one of the first things I don't like is the center console. And the only reason why I don't like it is because we also have a Model Y, a 2021 Model Y, and the center console there, I think is a lot better, a lot better. There's also no wireless charging in my version of the Model 3. In the newer versions, I believe they added it. Again, I could always buy an aftermarket, but it would be better if it was already integrated into the car. So that center console, I think the overall design at that time was good, but now in the newer Model 3s and the Model Y, I think they're designed a lot better. My Model 3 also comes with USB-A ports, and I believe they're USB 2.0, whereas the newer versions of the car come with a USB-C port and USB 3 support. In the newer versions of my Model 3, there is a dedicated USB port for Sentry Mode cameras, which is located inside the glove compartment. I really wish they did that. What I have to do is use a USB hub just to be able to extend the USB ports in the center console. I don't really need to do that, but it's like I have to use the USB ports to charge the phone for myself and my wife or the kids, and also I need the USB port for the Sentry Mode cameras. So I end up having to use a hub. Now, I picked this car up in December of 2019, and it came with single pane windows in the front. After a few months, they came out with the double pane windows, and what double pane windows does is it reduces wind noise. I'm not sure if you are aware, but Tesla doesn't follow the, I guess, traditional or standard like year model, like, oh, 2019 Model 3, 2020 model. They have to do that just to follow whatever rules are out there, but they introduce new features at any given time. They're not gonna wait for a new year version or anything. To them, there is no year version. It's just the car is just gonna get updates whenever they feel like it. Now this is only for hardware upgrades or updates, because again, you can also get software updates, and it doesn't matter what year of a car you have. As long as the hardware that you have support it, your software updates are also going to be supported. So one of the things that happened when I got the car is 4 to 6 months later, they started putting in double pane windows to reduce wind noise. And they're both 2020 Model 3s, but one version, my version, had single pane windows, and the newer versions have double pane windows. I don't mind it as much because I like to listen to music loud, so I rarely hear the wind noise, but it's just something to consider, I guess, or to share, or something to be aware of, that they just introduced new hardware upgrades at any given time. Now, I searched for power tailgate on the Model 3, and I don't think it's still there, but I'm only putting it in the dislike section because, again, we have a Model Y and it has it, and it's a really nice feature, and I wish they included it in the Model 3. Although maybe the 2022s have it, but the 2020s don't. There are a lot of aftermarket stuff that you could buy, but I just wish it came stock in the factory. I'm not used to having it in the beginning, so I had a big accident with the Model Y, but I would have loved it if the Model 3 had it. Those are just the stuff that I noticed that I didn't like, but here are some other thoughts. I've always wanted white interior, so I opted to pay the upgrade for it, and I really love it. I like the light colored interior. I'm in California, so it helps during the summertime. Although I can always pre-cool or preheat the car before I even get into it, so it's not a big issue, but I just like the way it looks. Now, I have 2 boys, and whenever they do ride with me, it does tend to get a little dirty, but it is easy to clean, so I don't mind it. Now, Tesla does have glass roof, and it does look really nice, but I think it contributes to warmer cabin temperatures during the summer. I notice I have to run my air conditioning at 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and in previous cars I never had to do that. Even with cars that I had that has sunroof, but the whole roof is pretty much glass. So I don't know if I should get one of those shades that they sell or tint it, but I do just have to share that the whole roof is glass. It looks nice, but I think it does contribute to higher cabin temperatures. Many people talk about Tesla's build quality and quality control, and I think I was pretty fortunate with the build quality of my Model 3. If you were to compare it to the Model Y we got last year, our Model Y within 10 days of taking delivery already needed a computer to be replaced. So we were without it for 10 days. But the Model 3, my Model 3 didn't really have any issues like that. It did have some panel gaps, misalignments, but when I had them look into it, it was within specs. So aside from that, I mean, the interior, there was no issues, no squeaking, no rattling noise, but just the usual panel misalignments and stuff. No computer related issues, no motor issues, thankfully, so it's been good so far. I also want to mention that when parked outside and you have the cabin temperature protection mode on, do bear in mind that it will kick up the fans when it senses that the temperature is over its limits, whether it's too hot or too cold. And when the fans kick in, it will use up some of your battery. So you do spend energy while it's parked outside. Also, we have these things called Sentry Mode, where it acts as, I guess, part of your alarm system, where it's constantly recording, but when Sentry Mode is triggered, either by someone getting near the car or, you know, any type of disturbance, it will start saving the recording into a folder. But that also requires energy. So just keep that in mind. Whenever we travel to Vegas and spend a couple of nights in Vegas, I make sure that the state of charge of the car is over 20% when I have to leave it in the parking structure, just to make sure that I have enough energy to go to a charging station when we're about to head out. Now there is like a protection mode where if the car detects that the state of charge is getting too low, it will start disabling features like the cabin protection feature, and the Sentry Mode feature will be disabled so that it could conserve more energy. Will I buy this car all over again? Absolutely, without a doubt. The thing I want to consider though next time is probably really consider the performance over the long range. I got a lot of upgrades to this car, the interior, the wheels. Now also keep in mind, if you upgrade the wheels, it does affect your range. But the amount of money that I spent on the upgrades, I could have just gotten the performance. the performance already comes with nice wheels and bigger brakes and all that stuff. So, and track mode, oh man, track mode would have been awesome. It would have been fun. But I was more concerned about the total range and the fact that many people have complained of how easily they were denting their wheels in potholes. But if I were to do it again, if I were to get another Model 3, I would have went straight to the performance and never looked back, and I wouldn't have purchased the full self-driving. At that time, the full self-driving was $6,000. Now it's $12,000, and I think it's even gonna go up to $15,000 after next month, September of 2022. But in hindsight, I don't use it. I don't use it. It was fun maybe the first month or two, or when maybe I'm showing it to people who haven't seen a Tesla. It's like an expensive party trick, but it's not a practical purchase, in my opinion. The auto lane changing is nice, but I rarely use this stuff. This car is so fun to drive. I'd rather drive it than it drive me. So that's just my opinion. If I were to do it again, no on the FSD, and I would have went straight to performance. And actually, I am doing it again. I'm actually trading in my Model 3, but this time I'm gonna go for the Model Y Performance. So I've always wanted a bigger car. I didn't think that bigger cars was a practical purchase because of the commute I'm doing, but because of electric cars and just the money savings I'm getting, it's a no-brainer. I could afford bigger cars. So in the near future, I am going to be trading in for a Model Y Performance. So a little bit about the charging stats for the last 31 days. I have this app. The Tesla app actually shows this, and I've done 396 kilowatt hours and spent $130. Now the gas equivalent is 221. I'm not really sure how they're calculating the per gallon cost, but apparently I've saved $91. Now 95% of the time I'm charging at home at 33 cents per kilowatt hour, and 5% of the time I'm at a supercharger at 28 cents per kilowatt hour. Now this is based on the information I plugged in. I do have solar panels. I have 35 solar panels, so I'm at a different rate. But again, I'm in California, and California is a lot more expensive than other states. I really wish it did tell me how much or how far I've driven, but it doesn't. I hope you enjoyed this video of my 30,000+ mile 2020 Model 3 review, I guess, or sharing of information. I do have a Model Y Performance on order. It's in its final, I guess, delivery stages, and so hopefully I'll be doing videos on that soon. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.